then we need to do something urgently. Then, for example, we can create a team in Teams, and this is another table, a template that is available for us to discuss what are we going to do if our volume was increased so much, because our production capabilities cannot meet the demand of 18,000. So what we can do, we are immediately creating a task force, a team of people that are going to work together in order to mitigate this type of problem. Okay. So what are the triggers? The triggers can be a manual action. It can be run on schedule, and this was the second flow that I wanted to show you. I'll show you in a few minutes. And run based as an event that happens in a cloud or on-prem service. So event based, and this was the event in Power BI. We have set up an alert, and we have worked with this alert in the Power Automate. And we can also schedule something that is going to be connected to our Power BI report. So this is another business scenario. Check your Power BI report every morning. This will be the first thing that will jump as an alert on your browser, and you will check this report. Even if everything was closed and your computer was restarted because there was a Windows update last night. So it's just another business scenario that you can use. Next slide. Action. The action itself, the flow action, is any number of steps that run after the trigger. So here you can have that we are creating a record inside Power App, or we can create a record inside our Dataverse. And the example I gave was about tasks. We can create a record in SharePoint list. We can email if our organization allows it. We can create Microsoft Teams chat or notification, or we can send the Teams to our boss, or we can even send a tweet and any other thing that we do. Of course, we can also create something in the SAP ERP if we have got not Dynamics, but SAP in our organization, SAP HANA. So that can create a record, for example, order more items because we have reached more than 18,000 items that were sold. So make sure that you can meet the demand. And we have the conditional logic, and this is how condition looks like inside the Power Automate. You have an if statement, and you choose a value for one of the fields that you have imported. In the example of the alert of reaching above a certain threshold that we have explored, if this is above, the value of the alert is let's say 19,000, it checks, is it above 18,000? If yes, we are going to create a task for it. If no, well, we're not going to do anything, or maybe we'll just create an alert. We'll just create a task in Planner. Go ahead, look and see how big of a threshold we still have with our productivity. And this is how we would build the Power Automate with Power BI. So we have got the trigger, we have got the action, and we have got the conditional logic in case that we want to add that. Now, we have got also the UI flow connectors, and I have added this slide in order to give you some idea of other things that you might explore. So in the UI flow connectors is something that I would love to see you connecting that to Power BI. So please reply what kind of business scenario in YouTube or any type of other scenarios you can see with UI flow and Power BI. Just something for you to think about, and I promise to monitor and see what's up there. Okay, this was to test if anybody is awake. Now, the gateways are required to connect to cloud service and just like in Power BI, we need to allow UI flows and other services to run on the local machine. So we need to make sure that we have the gateway installed. And now I would like to go ahead for the other flow and explain more about what have I done here. So we said that we can have a flow or Power Automate that is triggered by an event, and the event was the alert. But we can also have a scheduled flow. So we are here making a scheduled flow. And we have the intervals of every 20 minutes. And what is going to happen? We can add a new row in the tasks. So in order to go ahead with this presentation, I basically created myself tasks in the data flow, which is a table in this environment. This is my personal environment, and and the task is test. Now, the duration of the task is 30, and those tasks are periodically created each 20 minutes. So this is one way of creating yourself a metadata. And from those tasks, I can create a goal. So I can go to my workspace, which is Test Yana. I can go to the scorecard, which is task goals, and the name is the task, and make sure that I have goals. And what is the goal reached? I need to, for example, I did not put a goal specification because this is something I'm going to do in Power BI. So for example, I want to reach from all those tasks that are created every 20 minutes, at least 50% of them need to be completed by the end of the day. So every 5 p.m., this is going to be checked, and I'm going to see 5:30 p.m. and I'm going to see the trajectory. Remember the goals trajectory in our in the beginning of our conversation? So this is exactly what it is going to do, and it's a fun way to generate yourself a data set when you have nothing to test with. So you can go ahead and try it yourself and see how that also can work for you. So remember, we have got reoccurrence every 20 minutes. We creating a new task, and we creating a goal for ourselves to mark all those tasks as completed inside our Dataverse tasks. And then the Power BI is going to monitor those tasks. So this is the workspace Test Yana, where this type of the goal summary can be added. Another thing that I have did here, and this was the final thing that I'll show about the connection, is I have talked about the Twitter. So I've created a Power Automate flow that is basically testing the number of tweets with a certain title, which is Power BI. And this is a demo that you can see fully presented also by Charles Sterling-Chuck for Power Automate. And what it actually does, the initial amount of tweets, it has visualized it automatically inside Power BI from that table. So once you have a table, this is a visualization that Power BI created automatically for you. Right, so we went through the technical procedures, the screens of what can be done and how can it be done. I've also given you some challenges of go ahead and try yourselves. For example, go explore UI flows, see how we can do them, or do the schedule, do the Twitter, do the integration with Twitter in order to see if you can actually measure how many times something was mentioned and create your own report. And of course, go ahead and schedule your and create an alert in order to create a task in your planner based on that alert using your Power Automate in your organization or in your trial account for Office 365. Now, when we are creating Power BI report from our business process, there are a few things that we are doing, and I wanted to go through those things and see what is similar and what is not similar with the next slide, which is the Power Automate process. So let's start with the Power BI process. And first of all, And this is for all the business analysts and program managers and product managers amongst you, less for the developers. However, I think that developers should be thinking about that as well. So first of all, we learn about what the audience actually needs. We are asking questions: who needs the data, where the data is coming from, how many or how much data, what is the data, when, why, WH questions. Kind of like learning English. I learned English with WH questions and the ING spectacles. I suppose that most of the audience here went through the same fun. So in Power BI, those are the things how you would start the process, and not by creating a report. Then you have a rapid prototype of the report. You can even sketch it on your PowerPoint, or there are so many sketching tools for that type of wireframe diagrams. You don't have to call it wireframe diagrams, but it is very important to verify it with the user in order to understand what exactly is going to be there. You have the initial user feedback. You can use your whiteboard, storyboard, or you can, of course, use the Power BI and plan a POC of some kind, but here you need to be very careful that you are not overworking your POC and creating reasonable expectations. Then you build in the visuals in the tools after you incorporate the user feedback and get into the best product that you can deliver. And you start the reports with sample data. You don't import all the data. Remember how we talked at the beginning of today about a large data set and the incremental refreshes and how hard that all can be, and how much time sometimes it is to import all this data or to even have a direct query to the data. So try with sample data first in order to optimize your report to your user and get their feedback as best as they can. And only after you can build visuals in the, you can use the user feedback and edit your query in order to include the entire data set. Then start optimization, of course, on your data set and the performance. So always think agile when you are building the report. Now, for the Power Automate, we are also thinking agile, but we have a few things that are different. So first of all, learn about your audience needs, what exactly we need. But the question that we don't ask in Power BI is what is to be automated. In Power BI, we are enabling decision support. So we have some data, we need to visualize it, and we need to answer a question. Here, we are not answering a question, we are automating something. We are making something more efficient. So we need to do a process mapping, and this is the core business here, which is mapping the process. After the process map, it doesn't need to be on Power Automate. You need flowchart, plan what is the process. You can go ahead in PowerPoint and just paste, like you see, this is a process mapping. This is all you need for process mapping. You don't need to get to Power Automate directly. After you map the process and you got the user feedbacks, you work on all the connections that you need, and you build and test the process in the tool. Suddenly you've got some development component maybe, or your statements, logistic statements are more advanced than you thought, or you have dynamic components inside your Power Automate code. And this is something you need to go ahead and explore more. And this is the build part of the automation process. And of course, you go ahead with user feedback. Start with a scope of the process and which systems are connected. So this is something that we're doing for Power BI as well. What are the systems that are originating? Where is the database or the data sources? Here, which systems can it be? For example, have you got all the permissions in SAP or in another or in Salesforce? Have you got all the permission that you need there? And how you can get the data or get the processes flowing from there and to Office 365. Have you got the right permission to the SharePoint list you want to write in? Have you even got the planner? For example, I needed to create the planner for marketing inside my hub, planner hub, in order to show you how I can create the task and connect to this marketing plan. So this would be part of what you need to do when you are working with Power Automate. Power Automate even more than Power BI, because in Power BI, sometimes you just can import some kind of Excel spreadsheet or connect to a SQL data warehouse in Azure. And there we go. You are connected to a data source, you may give the direct query and can start working in Power Automate. It's not standalone tool, it's the connector. It's literally the enablement of business process connection. So it needs to be connected and it cannot just be a standalone in there. Right, so we went from Power Automate to Power BI to Power Automate, and we went back. We initiated something in Power Automate, which was the scheduled tasks, and then we see where it can be visualized inside Power BI. We have also seen from Power BI, when we are setting up an alert, how can we work with it in Power Automate? So I guess I am talking for more than an hour now. So any questions?
There is no question, Yana. It means that everybody understands everything clearly.
Or everybody's asleep.
No, not everybody's sleeping. At least I'm not sleeping. I don't think so.
That's good. Thank you.
Okay.
I hope it was beneficial for you. I will upload the presentations and put the links there. I'll do it at the end of my day.
Okay. Actually, the last part of our session is Q&A session, but during the presentation, you gave to members to ask their question. Once again, if there's a question, please raise your hand or unmute yourself and ask a question. By the way, taking it an opportunity, I would like to thank you, Yana, really, for your contribution. It was very useful. Also, people thank you. So last but not least, if you don't mind, I would like to kindly ask you to turn on your cameras. I would like to take a picture as I do in every session. So, and then we can close this meetup session. That's it. And Yana, you must speak Russian, right?
Да, я говорю по-русски. Можно спрашивать, давать вопросы на русском языке, нет никаких проблем. Пишите мне на русском тоже, я всегда буду рада ответить. Sorry for the non-Russian speaking audience.
Okay. Hi, Oakley. How are you? Okay. So let's go on. Will you be so kind as to stop sharing your screen, please, Yana? Stefan is asking about your nationality, Yana.
Nationality, I was born in Moscow. I grew up 24 and I was living in Israel and serving in the Israeli army. I was living in Israel for 24 years. Then I came to Canada and I'm a Canadian citizen. And now I'm in Seattle, Washington, in US. So regarding my nationality, I really have no idea.
In which part of Moscow, by the way?
I was 6 years old when we immigrated. I remember only the dacha in Tamilina and Lyubertsy, but this is like
yes. It's not Moscow. It's not Moscow. It's around Moscow.
Yes,
right?
We had like an apartment there in the dacha. I was 6 years old.
That's great. Okay. Will you stop sharing your screen, please?
I'm trying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to.
Okay.
I cannot stop share. There we go.
Yes, it's so good. Okay. So okay, I'm sorry. Just a minute. Let's have a look. Oh, Claudia is also here. Hi, Claudia. How are you? Okay, that's good. So I'm just going to take a picture and then we'll close the session. So just cheers, please. I cannot manage this part of the session, but I can't ask you to cheer up. That's it. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and here we go. That's it. Okay. Yes, just a minute. Okay, good. I did my job. So once again, I would like to thank you, Yana. It was our first session in this year. We have great speakers in next weeks or months. So once again, thank you very much for your contribution. Um, if there is any material, I kindly ask you to share with me because I will post it on our Meetup platform, and also I will share the link with people on my YouTube channel. So, Oakley, do you have something to tell us or not?
Who, me?
Yes, if you have something, please tell. If not, let's...
Nothing to say. Just thank you very much. It's very interesting.
Okay, really. Okay. So, thank you everybody for your attendance. Thank you once again, Яна. Спасибо вам большое. Это было очень хорошо. Благодарю вас. До новых встреч.
Спасибо,
See
до
you.
встречи.
До встречи. Пока. Take care of yourself. Thank you.
What do you say? До свидания.
До свидания.